Alright, this is my third try. Alright, let me explain. So I did the full Waycrest manner and my audio was muted. The mic was muted and I didn't figure out why. And I started showing how to use the search feature on the looking for group, and I realized that my minus symbol was a hotkey for mute mic. So I'm trying to catch up right now and explain for the third time everything I just did. So I did a Waycrest manner and the full VOD was muted, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do next. I'm pretty sad, to be honest, because I really wanted to make sure I could show every single run of every dungeons, how I approach them, and right now this one is without commentary, which is not what I wanted to do with this series. So, just giving you a heads up, I got this waste that I got during Waycrest Banner +2, and hopefully I'll be able to give commentary again about what I said during that run in the next few runs, but I could also do another +2 of Waycrest Manor just to make sure that I show the dungeon. This might be something I'll do just to compensate for not having it with commentary. So I'll be going to try to join a new Mythic Plus group. Yeah, that looks like a decent idea. I'll try to get back into it and show you guys the Mythic +2 run that I would do on that dungeon, even though I already did it. So if I fix the problem, the minus hotkey shouldn't be muting my mic. Yes, it works. Alright, so I was trying to show that you can use a minus symbol in the dungeon search to filter out the keys you want to do. So if you're looking to do a key between 5 and 10, let's say, you can do 5 minus 10. So it's going to give you all the keys that are between 5 and 10. So you can see there's 8, 8, but you will never see anything above 11 and plus, and 4 and less. So this is a good way to filter out keys. But if you're looking for a specific level of key, if you do +2, usually what happens is it also gives you 21, 20, and 20, and you see there's going to be 12 because there's a 2 in it. And they also give you one more and one less. So if I would put 5, you can see 4 to 6 and 15. So 15, you see 6, 5, you're going to be seeing +4 too, maybe? Yeah, +4, you see. So it's not really efficient to just put the 2, because you're going to find 20s and 12, and it's not necessarily what you want to do. You're going to see +3s too. So if you do 2 minus 2, so from 2 to 2, it gives you only the keys that are +2s. I think I did a better job in explaining this time, so this is maybe for the better. So how I approach joining a new group. Usually I search groups that has either a healer or tank, because usually they're the one that takes the longest to find. So right now I see that this one has a healer and 2 DPS, so I'll just sign up for a healer 2 DPS and to be the 3rd DPS on that group. Throne of the Tides is not the one I've done. I got declined for this one, but it doesn't matter. I can do my job. I've seen it in my first few runs. But this guy doesn't want me because my item level is too low. Blackrook Hold is not something I've done. Is that I've done Blackrook Hold on the first part of the series, if I exclude the part 0. That was the setup. So I'll try to get timed keys for every single dungeons that I haven't done, and I'll try to do a Waycrest Manor back last if I have the time. So Blackrook Hold is right here, 2 of them. I don't want to do them again. Everbloom right here. Anything that has either a tank or a healer. There you go, and I found a group for Everbloom. Once again, my item level right now is 409. It was 408 before I swapped the waste. But decently low, and people are still inviting me. I don't have a bloodlust, so people are just... I think people know that +2s aren't really that hard, so usually they're fine with inviting people that are a bit under geared. Because 441 for my item level is 30 item level over what I am currently wearing from my current average. These are the pieces that are costing the most on my item level. So once I'll be able to get decently high item level, the trinket, this number is gonna go up a lot. So right now I'll be looking into trying to find my way to the dungeon. I remember it's Everbloom. So I'm talking to the NPC right here, which is giving me the way. And to see it for yourself, just take the portal to the Timeways to Korgron. So, let's see. Then head south and look for the entrance with a titan-sized tangle of thorny vibes. Vines, not vibes. Thorny vibes. So I'm looking for a portal to Korgron. There it is. Mousing over it, I can see at the bottom right. Over here. Korgrons. I'm not muted. Everything's good. Alright, so if I look at the map, I see that the dungeon is over here. If I didn't have it undiscovered, if I didn't have the zone undiscovered, it would not be shown. So you would have to unlock the zone here first by flying over there, and then it would show you the door on the map. So there is the summoning stone, and I'll be waiting for someone else from my group to get here. I know that they're here or not by looking at the colors here. If one of them is bright, is not translucent like they are compared to mine. I know that someone is in my vicinity, so they'll be able to help me summon. Right now I'm alone, so there's no reason to start the summoning. I can also open my map and keep track of the dots from them spawning to summon them, to know which one are gonna get here first, to know which ones I want to summon first. If you're getting into a dungeon and you want to get a bit of an idea, Everbloom. Someone is asking in chat which dungeon this is. Bet on my way. This guy's a Chad. So yeah, if you want to get an idea of like what the mechanics of the bosses are, if you go Shift and J, you can open the dungeon journal here at the bottom. My cam is kind of hiding it a bit. Dungeon is over here, and then usually there's a current season over here. You can see every dungeon from the current season. Oh, I'm surprised there's only 7. No, there's 8. It's just Dawn of the Infinite is a mega dungeon. So this is a dungeon with 8 bosses. What they do usually on seasons is they cut them in half. So there's first 4 bosses are for the first one, first key. And there's a second key you can do, which is a different dungeon, are the 4 or 5 last bosses. So right now we're doing Everbloom. So if you're looking to get a bit of information about the bosses, you can come over here, click on here are like small tips the game gives you to do the boss. I think this is a guy from my group. Yep, I saw a dot here in the mini map, so I knew someone was close. While they're summoning, they click. How you do it is you click on a target, and then you click on the stone, and you're gonna start a portal. And once the portal is up, a second player can come and click the portal you're summoning, and it's gonna complete a summon on the current target. So just to show you, if I wanted to summon the healer, I click on him, click the stone, and then a portal spawns over me. And if another player comes and right clicks this portal, it's gonna summon the healer, so the target that I currently have. So yeah, just to finish the dungeon journal, it gives you a small few tips depending on your role. So if you go over here, overview, it says damage dealer, this is what you gotta pay attention to. If you're a healer, there's different ones. And if you're a tank, different ones too. And if you're curious about the current abilities, you can go and read them. Usually if it's here, you can click on the check growth, and then it's gonna give you even more information about it. Or you can even go and read it, uncheck growth, and then find it here. And then read what every single effect they do. There are symbols like these, important, which means that there are core mechanics to the fight. Usually this kind of research is not really necessary for a Mythic +2, but eventually you'll have to know every single dungeon's core mechanics, which ones are really important by heart. And sometimes the devil is in the detail, so small mechanics you forgot about, which you thought wasn't important, end up wiping your group. This happens quite a few times during a season, because people are still figuring out how to do them. Also, at some point, people are also getting into cheesy strats, and which means they're not killing the boss the way it was intended. And usually what happens is that dungeons become way easier because they have skips, or dungeon mechanics can just be avoided totally. Some of them are bugs abuse, which is an offense from Blizzard usually. In that case, they are patched and people stop doing it, but most of them never get patched. And they can really make or break a run. Sometimes some dungeons you need to use this kind of strats to finish a run. Otherwise it's kind of shooting yourself in the foot. And I'll show you how I get these kind of information. Usually just by doing it and having someone do it for you, showing it for you while you kind of figure it out. This is most of the time how I figure out new strats. I was just looking to make sure my mic was still recording. I'm getting paranoid. So this is a huge pack, so I'm using my CDs. Just making sure I'm hitting stuff, doing my AoE. Now I see that there isn't many targets, so I'll be doing my single target spender. The animations are really cool. I really like the aesthetics of Red Pally. Nice. See, I did the top damage on that pole. If I could compare myself by hovering over here, you can see the Warlock is 441, and I did more damage on that pole than 441. And I'm not doing anything crazy, right? I'm just using my cities, not even overthinking about what I need to use first. I'm just making sure I'm always pressing button and putting my big cities on cities. So sometimes I get rooted, and every time I get rooted I realize that there was something around me that I could mouse over that had a red outline. This usually means that you have a debuff on you caused by roots or something, or chains, and you can usually hit it and destroy it. Eventually what I would like to get into is interrupting. This is really okay. My hard drive got full Obviously over time I'll get better at this. I'm really sorry about interruptions. So I was talking about burst phases. There are phases during certain bosses where you'll be dealing more damage. For some classes, it's better off to hold your CDs until these kind of phases pops up, because the 100% increased damage is so huge. It's gonna be worth it for you not to use your CDs in the during the boss fight, just to make sure you have it during the phase where you're doing more damage. That was the gist of it. Something I noticed about my rotation is that I realized that Judgment was making two holy, how's it called? Holy powers? And my Blade of Justice was only making one. So I'm trying to pay attention to when I use Judgment and Blade of Justice to make sure I don't overcap. So I'm never using Judgment when I'm at four holy powers. Also, sometimes I get some of the holy powers just by attacking. I think this is because I'm using the auto attack build, which casts avenging strikes on its own. So this is a huge pack. I'll be using my CDs here. So during a pull, I'm always trying to hit a target that has the maximum HP. So what I mean by that is that while I'm hitting the whole group, I need to have a target for me to use my single target spells. And what I'm trying to do is trying to kill them all at once, because the less single target damage I'm doing, the more AoE I'm doing. And I'm getting more value by doing AoE damage than by doing single target. So if I make sure that people, all the mobs last as long as they can, I'm also making sure I'm doing the most of my damage by doing AoE damage, which makes more DPS over time. So if you're going for straight up damage over time, DPS, it's better for you to do single target on high health target, and do as much AoE as possible. So right now it's a really messy. I see there's a lot of green. I'm trying to stay out of it. I'm trying to stay active too, trying to stay close with my targets to make sure I can hit them. The range from Paladin seems to be rather long. Seem to be able to hit most of the target without being that far. I don't know if this is... Yeah, this is close enough for auto attack too. Is it still the case for here? No, this is the range for auto attack. So I can hit my spells further than what my auto attacks can hit, but they can still hit pretty far. Look at the distance between me and the boss. And I seem to be able to do single targets, auto attacks from there. So this is the gap I want to close as much as possible, because if I'm outside of that range, my DPS becomes 0. So I need to pay attention and try to minimize my time being far away from my targets, and maximize my uptime of me being able to cast my spells. This is what I thought. This is I've done this dungeon a while ago. There's a optional boss, Xeritak, which we used to always skip, and I was wondering if it would be in the path for this dungeon at all, but it doesn't see. I don't see the name in the list of bosses I need to kill at the right. So I'm guessing not. There's many targets here, so I'll be using my CDs. I see that there are orbs that I need to dodge. Trying to make sure I stay out of them. I'll try to show what I mean by targeting the highest HP in a group. So right now we're hitting 3 targets, and I'm hitting this one. This one's at 95, so they're all pretty close in health. So I'll keep hitting this one, using my CDs, and then you see now this one is around at 60%, but I see another one that seems to be a bit higher in HP than the one I was targeting. So I'm swapping to this one to make sure I deal as much as I can as doing AoE damage. And see at the end, he's the one that survived the most. This could also be optimized if you have your finisher, your execute spell available. Usually it might be worth to swap to a target which is a lower HP just to make sure you get a cast of your execute. But these are really depending on your class, your situation. As a general rule, I would say focusing the target with the most health is the safest. Also, if you have a class, yeah, I remember that it used to be a boss where you had to jump and everything. It seems like they changed it quite a lot. A lot more manageable. It used to be kind of a pain of a boss. Doesn't seem too bad. Some classes has better execute than others. I would say probably like Warriors is pretty well known for having a really good execute. Sometimes it's also about leaving the execute targets to classes that really does well at hitting them. So if your class doesn't really have an execute, you should always leave the low health target to the ones that does have execute. So it does a better, it's a better DPS for the whole group in the end. In my case, I only have Hammer of Wrath, and also I get free casts from either having my Avenging Rat. It allows me to cast Hammer of Wrath outside of the execute range, which is 20%. But also using Templar Final Verdict, sorry, also gives me a chance of giving me a free reset and cast of Hammer of Wrath. So right now I see that there's a NAD that has a skull on them. I was pretty late to see it. So I'm swapping to that target. And this is just by memory, but I remember that these lashers need to be stepped on to be removed. Otherwise they spawn like this. So what I might have to do is, I see that there's a cone, I'm trying to move out, didn't get out in time. It doesn't matter, it's a Mythic +2, so you're allowed to make mistakes. I see that this target is still a priority to kill, but these ones are packed, so I'll be trying to burst them as fast as I can. Now he's hitting them with a cone, going back to the target. Main target. There's a big area around it, so... Okay, now there's a second one that just spawned, so I'm going back to it. Trying to clean it as fast as I can. Trying to get out of the cone. Going back into it. Once again, flowers. Stop DPS, go around and make sure you hit as much as you can. So these are the moments where you would use your movement speed enhancer. Try to make sure you hit as much as you can. See, I think we only made one spawn, which is really good. It might seem like it doesn't matter, but when you get into high keys, these kind of mechanics could mess a run just by having someone doing a poor job at it. and also it dilutes the DPS into ads that are surrounding the boss instead of trying to actually kill the boss. So the downtime is most of the time worth it. And okay, this is the item to craft crafted gear. So I might look into crafting gear because this is my second one. I did get one by crafting it with the quest I did in the new zone. Yeah, so this is made to craft an item from 450 to 463. Starting item level based on 450 to 463, yeah. Oh, these ones are down to keep going. So I'll say me too, just showing the chat. So these are great opportunities to push keys and also make sure you keep your tank and your healer, which is always the hardest part, right? The hardest part is to get into a group with the tank or a healer because they're the hardest one to find. So if you want to do it, you can ask people to continue with the current group and push more keys, or if people are trying to invite you to do another one, they might invite you. So these are great opportunity to push keys and get free IO really quick. So I'm still looking about what's going on. If we're doing +5s, I would be really interested into doing it, but I think for the run for the education part of this series might be bad, but I think it would be worth doing. I'll take this moment just to show you that by doing the dungeon I did yesterday, I got a key from it. This is the keystone I got, which is Dawn of the Infinite. It means this is the dungeon I need to do to activate Mythic Plus. So this is the Mythic Plus that I could start a group for. If you're not satisfied with the key you have, if you do a key that's higher level than the key you currently have, or equal, so in the case this is a Mythic level 2, if I want to, I could talk to the lady at the end of a run. If you completed the run, you can re-roll the key that you currently have, and it's gonna give you a different one. I'll just do it for the sake of showing you guys. So right now I had a key from the new mega dungeon. Now I have Throne of the Tides. So it's a good idea to, usually there's always a dungeon that's easier than the rest, and people are really looking into getting into this dungeon in particular for how easy it is compared to the rest. So if you want to get a 16 timed for your vault or something, you could do 16s until you get the dungeon that's really easy, and then it's gonna be a breeze to get the group going for that dungeon in particular. Other things that could make it easier for you to find a group or make a group is the items that they drop. So if there's a really if there's an item that's so good that every single casters want it, it's gonna be more popular because people will want to farm that dungeon to get that item. So if you see that there's a key in particular that's really in demand, don't hesitate to roll to make sure you get that key, and then it's going to be easier for you to make a key. And by making your own groups, it makes it also easier for you to get into higher level keys, because you don't get filtered out for your gear. You're the one that filters out people that gets in. The difficult part is always getting the tank and the healer. So keep that in mind. So we have a full group right now, and I think they're going for Throne of the Tides. Ataldazar is less boring, I guess. So okay, they are going for Ataldazar. So I'll be going back to Valdraken and trying to go back to the TP zone to reach the dungeon.